Hello, welcome to Bite Size. I'm your host, David Byrne. Today, we're going to be talking about real ways that we can trim the budget in the United States and in Georgia and any other state, and how we can start to address wasteful spending. What are the issues in budgeting? Well, we all kind of have a general understanding, but let's start with the fact that there is over $250,000 worth of debt per taxpayer. Just think about that. That's more than some people will make in their lifetime, if you take into account at least what they lose. And this is just completely unsustainable. I think, when I looked last night, it was $600 billion are paid on interest on the national debt. That's almost how much we spend on the defense budget. I believe this year the defense budget is $950 billion. It's ridiculous. It's unsustainable. At the state level, on average, Georgia's actually pretty normal, spending about $4,000 per resident. This is the same as Florida, North Carolina, all these other states. We'll get into why that's important in just a sec. But I want to touch on, so this is largely a federal issue, but our solution applies at the state level as well. Excessive government spending beyond tax revenues is unsustainable in every facet. All economic theories agree that you cannot just spend yourself into oblivion. It doesn't work. Even people who say, modern monetary theory, the government can just print money. Well, no, it's still, even modern monetary theory says you're still limited by paying back your debts because you can't just write them off, right? And so your tax base goes up only incrementally. So you have to be cognizant of how much debt you're taking. All economic theories agree you cannot spend unlimited amounts of money. Period. There is not a single one that says you cannot, or at least not a respected economic theory. And more than so than that, it is unjust to obligate future generations to paying your debt. If your parents were to go get a home loan, would you as a child accept it if they said, "Don't worry about it. Our kid will pay for this house"? And they didn't actually ask you for permission. They just said, "Hey, we're going to sign our kid's name. He is our guarantor on our loan because he's going to live a long, lustrous life and he will pay back this loan." You would tell them to pound sand. You would not accept that. But yet we do with our government. It's ridiculous. Parents would say, "Oh, they're buying a house that you could use." Our parents are saying the same thing. "Oh, they're investing in things for future generations." No, we're just having massive amounts of debt. It's that simple. And lastly, wasteful spending is driven by large amounts of special interest groups. So what can we do about any of this? The problem is it's incredibly hard to cut spending. Legislators are having to pass large spending bills which allocate money in really large chunks, and it's hard to catch fraud, waste, and abuse, right? You need someone who's down in the weeds to catch that. So that's where we come to our solution. Right now, Congress is really the only one blocking wasteful spending. The executive branch, where all government agencies or most government agencies live, they do some of their own, but they really have no motivation to give up their own funding. So let's talk about the structure of the government real quick. You have the legislative branch, that is Congress. You have the executive branch, that's the president. Most every agency in the United States, DOD, the Department of Justice, Department of Commerce, Internal Revenue Service, they all work for the executive branch. They all work for the president. There's very few organizations that work for Congress. One of them is the Government Accountability Office. So what is it? It is a non-partisan organization that publishes reports directly to Congress, and these are very long reports where they'll go in and audit programs. They're the government's true auditing agency. And they'll say, "Hey, we have identified this many billions of dollars of wasteful spending. This program should be canceled because it's way over budget. This money is being wasted and it should be reallocated." They'll publish very extensive, very detailed, very good reports. And like I said, they're nonpartisan. I've read their reports. They're amazing reports. Regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, you'll read them and say, "Yep, that's absolutely what we need to do." Within the state of Georgia, and all other states have this, we have the Department of Audits. And it exists to provide, independent, unbiased information, impactful recommendations to promote accountability, right? Similar mission to the GAO. Again, these both work for their respective legislators. We need to give these organizations enforcement authority. It is the only way we can tackle the mountain of wasteful spending we have. Congress is focused on funding things. Are getting pulled in so many different directions. There's 500 members of Congress all getting their phones rang all day long. But we have an organization that is dedicated to and does amazing work on behalf of Congress to audit wasteful spending. So what do? We give the GAO the ability to say, hey, this program is wasting this many billions of dollars per year. We are going to withdraw funding from this program. Congress would have the ability to override it, say the Appropriations Committee, and say, nope, we're not going to do that. But if Congress chooses not to act, then give the GAO and our state equivalent the ability to say, this money is being wasted. This is how many billions of dollars we are recommended be cut from this program, or it be canceled, or pick their recommendation. They'd be able to recommend anything with regards to budgeting. Withdraw all funding, withdraw partial funding, withdraw this much or this many dollars. And if Congress doesn't act on it within 90 days, it becomes bam. That is how much your budget is cut by. You have a $10 billion program, and they say, hey, you're wasting $5 billion. Bam. And they say, we need to cut $5 billion from this program. Bam. 90 days later, $5 billion will be cut from that program. And all of a sudden, we can start to make real progress towards cutting wasteful spending. Give the power to the auditors. Again, they're overseen, they report directly to Congress. Congress has power of the purse. Congress allocates funds to programs that the president administers. These are representatives of Congress. So what we're doing is we're simply delegating power that already exists in Congress to an agency that works for them to go police organizations that don't work for them, that work for the president. It's delegating that enforcement authority from Congress to the GAO to police other organizations within our government. This is the only way we can really start to address wasteful spending on a massive scale, other than just large swaths and large cuts. So I hope I've given you an idea. Please call your congressman with this idea. Tell them we want to give the GAO enforcement authority to cut spending and wasteful spending that they see and they publish. Same with the state level. Let's do this at the state level. It's the only way to cut wasteful spending at the right level. Thank you for joining me today on Bite Size. I hope I've given you a new and innovative solution that you really hadn't considered, introduced you to some new organizations. Please like and subscribe this video. It really helps the channel grow, and we can bring more real solutions to issues that we're facing in America. Thank you all.